I made this app here without writing a single line of code. I'm not a developer, but I'm using Cursor to help me to create little apps like this for my business. So you can see it here, there's not much amazing coding going on here, but I wanted to personalize this for a to-do list app for myself, and I wanted to have a health section and a work section. And I can just use, little cool things, just, add something for my day. I can just add a workout, right? And just click add, and then it does that, and just delete it and tick it off here when it's done. So it's a very simple app, right? But I was able to do it even though I don't know how to code. So I'll teach you in this the basics of using Cursor, right? I am by no means an expert because, as I said, I'm not a developer, but I've tried to learn some of this stuff online and people are not really showing the absolute basics. So let's just go through it here. So the first step is really just to download Cursor, right? You can download free from their website, cursor.com. So the app that I made, it looks like this, right? This is what it will look like when you first start, right? So you need to open a folder, right? So basically you just need to open a folder, and in this case just create a new folder. So you just create a folder and just say example. For this one, of course, we're just doing example, and select a folder. Okay, so now we're in the kind of project space, right? So what we need to do really is press Control, Shift, and I, and this brings us up to this thing called Cursor Composer, right? So we just need to write whatever it is you're imagining your app to be, right? You just need to write it in here. Okay, so at this point, you want to just try to be as specific as you can, right? I'm just really creating this for this video, so make me a web app that allows me to calculate how much ROI I make from my Airbnb. Okay, so it'll just hopefully come up with the steps and how much cost and all that itself. So let's just click enter and it will start working on it. Okay, so now you can see it's got this little chat feature here and it's writing all the code for me, right? This is amazing. The problem is, of course, if I don't understand this, which I don't, what do I do if I come across errors and stuff like that? So this often happens, right? So we just need to keep asking, like, what's this? Like, that's basically how you can code now, is just keep asking questions like, what's this? Change this, whatever, what's the problem here? And just keep asking and asking. Okay, it can be a bit tedious if you get stuck, right? But it's like having, somebody who knows about coding here and say it just tells you step by step what to do. Okay, so I just need to read through all this here. And to use the app in the folder that we started earlier, just need to open this and let's see. So I'm just going to click accept all and see what we have so far. So yeah, in our folder, we have what it said it had, right? So I just need to double click on this index. So there we go. We have our Airbnb ROI calculator, right? So there you go. You just, it's pretty amazing, right? It's done all of that for me, right? I don't even understand a lot of this, but let's imagine it's correct, right? And the cool thing is you can just like look at that and go, okay, I want to change this, right? Let's change the black background to blue, right? Okay, so I'll just say, thank you. Can you change the background to blue? Okay, so you can see I just changed the background to a light blue, right? So pretty cool, right? Really cool. Okay, this is obviously quite a simple app, right? For people to do. It doesn't have, a back end of something like that. I've been trying to do that and I haven't really made as much progress as I'd like to yet. But these things take time, right? So obviously I'm going to keep learning, right? And trying to figure out how to, you need to start installing stuff. All of that makes it a bit more complicated, right? So when you open back up your file, right, you can just open up your file, your recent projects, right? So in this case, I can just do my tick task, the other one, and my example. I can just go like that and open it up again. If you want to start chatting with this, then just press Control L, and then you got the chat up here, and you can keep asking and changing the code as you wish. Now, the next problem I had was really that this is actually, all this code is saved onto my computer. So, it's not really that beneficial for me, is it? If it's on my computer, I want to deploy the code, right? So that's what I've learned it's called, is when I want to get this out into the world, right? So what I had to do was, basically just was in the chat here and just kept asking it to figure out how to do it, right? So I had to set up a GitHub account and a Vercel. I'll leave links to these down below for you. The Vercel part was quite easy. The GitHub part was a bit more complicated, so I just had to figure it out, right? It's all about just figuring this stuff out, and I was able to make this, public, right? So here's the local one. This is what it looks like when it's just stored on my computer, and then this is what it looks like online, right? So anyone can use this now. So if you do have something really simple like this, I recommend using this one called bolt.new because it's very easy to deploy, right? You just click deploy, and then it will will actually make the website for you, right? And so really cool. But I found a lot of errors with this one, so it's like fix error, fix error, fix error. That's quite annoying, really, you know. So hopefully, I know that they are working a lot on that, so hopefully a lot of the errors will stop happening. But another amazing tool, right? So this one probably you want to use for just that kind of basic, like what I did here, you know, in Cursor. And Cursor, we want to try and learn and use for something a bit more complicated, maybe with all of the stuff like, you know, logging in and all that type of thing. We're going to probably need Cursor to do something like that. Who knows how this is going to develop? You know, these are all brand new tools and it's pretty amazing. So if you are a developer, I would definitely be, you know, thinking about how people like me are using these tools, right? You know, I would love someone to help me out when I get stuck, right? So you could add like a consultation business, you know, and say, okay, just need a quick, you know, quick help because I'm stuck, right? You know, it's like, how do I add the auth feature, or how do I add, you know, how do I make this into a fully blown SaaS tool? So if you're a developer, I would definitely be thinking about doing something like that. If you're like me, it's really just adding to your business, right? I do a lot of SEO work, so I can add so many tools, and you know, whatever it is that's in my business, I can just add and create new features, and that's really important to me. So I think that's really it. If you are a developer, get in contact with me, because you know, I'd probably use a little bit of help when I'm doing this. And that's it for this video. If you want to watch any more, if you want to know more about the deploying part, I can make a video about that as well, right? That's it. My name's Connor. Thank you for watching, and subscribe to the channel.